Charger Metals is a West Australian-based lithium exploration and development company. We are focused on our Lake Johnson lithium project, which sits in the south of Western Australia. Western Australia is the biggest lithium producer in the world. Despite that, there are only a small number of producers in Western Australia and an even smaller number of lithium developers. A month ago, we announced an increase to our lithium resource, and we've grown it to 10.6 million tonnes at 1% lithium oxide, increasing the metal value by 34%. On top of that, there is another exploration target for a further 3 to 5 million tonnes, which appears to be a higher grade deposit to our initial resource. We are now confident that the Lake Johnson project will be a lithium mine, and we've commenced the studies around the mining and the processing side. Recently, we announced the results of our ore sorting work, which saw we could successfully upgrade the lithium product to a 1.3% lithium oxide concentrate through simple ore sorting, which gives us an opportunity to look at a direct shipment of ore via the Esperance port, which is 200 kilometres to the south. The Lake Johnson lithium project remains one of the few resources in Western Australia where the offtake has not been fully committed. On top of that, where you find lithium, you quite often find gold in Western Australia, and we made a gold discovery 6 months ago. Drilling is about to recommence. We're hoping the next round of drilling into our Lake Johnson lithium project will commence within the next 10 days. We've committed to a further 10,000 metres of drilling, which will double the amount of drilling we've put into the resource area. With that, we're confident we'll see a further increase in the size of the resource. We recently sold our Bynoe lithium project to the Core Lithium Group, which is in the Northern Territory, right in the north of Australia, and we will use that money to focus on completing the initial feasibility work over the Lake Johnson lithium project. Lithium prices over the last year have been very strong, and you've seen somewhere between 140 and 200% increase in the lithium price over the last 12 months. And so it's a good time to be looking at bringing lithium assets into production. So we have a very tight corporate structure, only a small number of shares on issue, very small market capitalisation, and the value of the metal in ground is huge. And with that, we can provide significant leverage to the lithium price as we continue to de-risk this asset. We have a very strong board in lithium, also in lithium exploration, development, and general mining operation. So this is the location of our Lake Johnson lithium project. and it sits in the heart of the southern Yilgarn, which is where, the bulk of the West Australian lithium is produced. We're surrounded by four existing lithium deposits. The Mount Cattlin deposit and mine to the southwest, the Covalent lithium operation, which is very large, that sits to the northwest. Develop Global have another deposit sitting to the northeast, and so there are four spodumene concentration plants within trucking distance of the resource. It's also only a 200-kilometre truck for a DSO operation down to the Port of Esperance, and we note our neighbour Develop Global has looked at starting a direct shipment of ore operation, which isn't too far away, out through the same port. So, whilst Western Australia is the world's biggest lithium producer, there are very few resources and very few mines still. There's a small number of developers, and we're only 12 months into growing the size of this resource that Charger is sitting on, and we're pretty confident we'll keep growing the size of this thing. However, uncommitted offtake on spodumene deposits in Western Australia is very rare, and we've begun talking to off-takers around the potential sale of this product from both a DSO and a concentrate perspective. So, Metcalfe has a mining lease application over it, and we're fast-tracking the permitting of that mining lease application. We've well advanced on our environmental studies, and we're running the permitting in parallel to the feasibility studies. It's only in the order of a 180-kilometre truck to the Mount Cattlin operation, which is currently sitting in care and maintenance. And so that's one possible route to commercialising the Lake Johnson lithium project. The other logical route is through a direct shipment of ore out through the Esperance port. On a valuation basis, Charger is very, very cheap, and our peers are trading in the order of $525 per contained tonne of lithium oxide. We are merely a fraction of that as we continue to de-risk the geology and the metallurgy and move this towards mine production. We're expecting a significant uplift in our valuations. And the good thing now on the sale of Bynoe, we are fully funded to demonstrate that economic potential. We have a very strong team around lithium and mining development. We have engaged Derouge Geological Consulting. They're some of the most experienced lithium geologists in the world out of Canada. We're using Intech Mining for our initial mining studies. Independent metallurgical operations are running our metallurgical studies, and TOMRA have done our initial ore sorting test work. NAGROM are working on our DMS test work at the moment. Botanica Consultant have led our environmental studies and permitting, and we have a very strong in-house team at Charger overseeing the economic studies into the Lake Johnson lithium project. So this is what the deposit looks like. It looks like there is a very cheap, low-cost mine to start over the ore body, and then you'll look at a cutback to chase the ore body deeper, and then we're gaining confidence that this will eventually turn into an underground mine. So our mining studies are progressing very well. So the good thing about this deposit is it starts at surface. And if you look at this chart across, bar chart across on the left, what you're seeing is the biggest lithium tons are sitting at surface, and they're very cheap tonnage to mine from a mining point of view. As you get deeper, the grade improves, and we believe this will transition into an underground mine. The other thing helping the economics around this deposit is that 80% of the resource sits in the top 300 metres from surface. And so we're expecting a very high conversion of the resource into reserves once we finish our economic studies. On top of the resource, we have another exploration target that is sitting out to the west, and we're hoping to start drilling out this exploration target, which has potential to add another 3 to 5 million tonnes to the resource, and we're hoping to start drilling that in the next 10 days. The drill contractor is locked in, and the rig should mobilise shortly to that target. We're doing a 10,000 metre program. This area has only had 10,000 metres put into it previously, so we'll be adding to the geological confidence. We'll look to increase the size of the resource significantly, and we'll be gaining additional metallurgical material for further processing test work. On top of our Metcalfe resource, we have a number of other significant lithium targets that are earlier stage with very, very limited drilling that has gone into it. If we look at the Lake Gordon area through here, we have a 3 kilometre long soil anomaly, and there's only in the order of 10 holes that have been put into that prospect area. We go up to the north, and we've got another very large target there, and there's a 5 kilometre by 1.5 kilometre anomaly sitting up there, and there's a lot of high-grade rock chips that confirm the lithium content at surface. So that's also another area we're looking to add significant resource. We were very pleased with our recent ore sorting test work that was done by TOMRA in Sydney. And what that confirmed is the spodumene rock can be separated from the country waste rock very, very easily. So, we're getting an upgrade from the resource grade of about 1% to about 1.3%, whilst retaining 95% of the lithium. The tantalum grade is seeing a very similar result, where you're going from 109 parts per million to 145 parts per million, and a 97% metal recovery. So, this does bring into play the opportunity for a low cost, low capital avenue to production, and looking at exporting via the Esperance port, which is only 200 kilometres away. So we had some very impressive gold results over the last 6 months, and we're sitting very close to a plant that's been converted into a gold processing plant, and there are no gold deposits sitting in this gold belt to date. However, we've got some of the best gold drilling results that have been found in this greenstone belt. I mentioned we recently sold our Bynoe project to our neighbour, Core Lithium, and so Core Lithium have their plant to the north of the tenement we just sold them, and that has given us enough money to go and complete the initial economic assessment of our Lake Johnson lithium project, which is fantastic because we haven't had to raise more capital and dilute our shareholders. So our shareholders will get an uplift. We're fully funded now to focus on our Lake Johnson lithium project. So, Lake Johnson is our focus. It's very, very rare to have. There's only a very small number of spodumene deposits in Western Australia, and we believe Lake Johnson is now of a critical mass. It is surrounded by infrastructure, other plants, and also the Port of Esperance and highways. So we're very excited about the exploration potential beyond our initial resource, and we have a very experienced team of people moving the Lake Johnson lithium project towards production. So thank you very much for listening to the Charger Metals presentation.
All right, so we have a few more slides. We just move forward on that. Just bear with me. There's a few data. If anyone want to talk to Brian and ask more about the projects, feel free to let us know. So Charger's ASX code is CHRCB if you are looking at the share investment.